another planet? Is Janet from 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 another planet?
Today's digital landscape with the spread of false information can lead to dangerous outcomes. It's crucial for everyone to think critically and verify sources and reflect on the impact of what they share. Let's promote responsible communication to ensure that truth prevails and actions remain rooted in reality.
The following program is rated TV MA LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Hello, 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 hello. Hey, Janet, how are you tonight?
I'm good.
Excellent. We've watched the movie The Explorers, and this is episode 60 of A Girl, a Guy, and a Movie. This was a special fan request from our friend Flady1, and he would normally be here tonight issuing commentary on this as well. I cannot say how much I'm a little saddened by the fact that he has gotten an illness. If he shows up in the chat, it will be impressive, but he said he is waxing off to bed. He's going away. He needs sleep. He's got a small fever.
Yeah, I hope he feels better soon.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, in his stead, we do have some other members that have made their way into the chat. And would like to say also we are dual streaming on our Rumble affiliate. Our friend Six Nation 31 Kings follows Janet into the auditorium first. The crafting gamer grabs some popcorn and slides into his seat. Then Six Nation 31 Kings says back in the 80s, the ride spacecraft is based on, it was called the Tilt-A-Whirl back home, and then it got changed to the Riptide by the 1990s. I always thought it would be cool to see a popular attraction get kit bashed into a space vehicle, and it hits those notes of, wouldn't it be cool to build a rocket ship as a little kid? I think we all want that. We all wanted that. We drank Tang. We wanted to be astronauts. I still drink Tang.
I used to drink Tang.
I still do.
Do they still sell it?
Yeah, they still sell it.
Oh, I'll have to look.
Six Nations. Hope you're doing well, bud. Keep everybody in your prayers in the malaria-affected areas where Bill Gates is testing his robotic mosquitoes.
Mm-hmm.
This sounds more and more like a G.I. Joe Synthoid Conspiracy 2023 episode than what I should be talking about in real life.
I know every day sounds like we're in some type of bad movie in real life, but we're in reality.
Well wishes for Flatey. Crafting Gamer says, I don't need popcorn. For me, it's chocolate-coated coffee beans. Sounds delicious.
Those sound good.
As I suckle on some coffee beans right now, I've got a lipper of coffee beans. I guess that's a thing. Ungar, the Starvarian, is in chat. I also wonder if he's still selling his t-shirts. He's got some awesome t-shirts.
You have to show us some of the new styles.
Let's see what the search bar pulls up. They're still for sale. Got more coming out. Good. I was trying to check on Brave, and Brave's search bar is not that powerful, so I have to go to.
What are you looking for about the robot?
Nope. I was looking for the Hungar t-shirts.
Oh, okay.
Before we start talking about this movie from 1985, directed by Joe Dante, starring River Phoenix and Ethan Hawke, both in their first feature film, I might also add.
Mm-hmm.
Want to get a friend's materials put in here. Hungar the Starver.
Yeah, I bought tickets already. I'm gonna go see The Sound of Freedom on Wednesday. I'm excited.
That looks like a good movie.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be sad. I'm gonna take a whole bunch of Kleenex with me. I know anything to do with the topic that I talk about so much. It's gonna be emotional, but I'm gonna go see it, support the movie.
I think the message is very important about that film.
Me too. People don't want to talk about stuff that's real life, you know? It's more fun to talk about people in rainbow clothes with their wee-wees hanging out and their boobies hanging out, walking down the street in front of kids.
All right, the link is in the chat. Both Hungar and I both stumbled upon it.
Yay.
And just so you, one of our friends, this is a guy that he's got some things going on, and I really support his mindset. He's I wouldn't say he's quote unquote got a message or anything, but I mean he's got some amazing shirt designs. You can have this right here, the Hungar Fro, which is from his high school photo. It's great. Then he's got the infamous photo, the black and white version of that, where the 5 dashing young gentlemen are with the team player. Then he has the, oh God, this sounds terrible, the colorized version, where Hungar is there. You can plainly see it's Hungar's face. Not a good place to be, but it's funny, and that's why we got it. I absolutely love this shirt right here. And whenever you buy a shirt from these, you get all these options for Hungar t-shirts. What color do you want? And
I like that black one, but does he have some with long sleeves? You know, the baseball tees?
He has V-necks. He has premium tees, heavyweight T-shirts, Echo T-shirts. You may want to ask him. Oh. He has a coffee mug.
Yeah, nice.
This is awesome. Looks like an 8-ounce mug. Nothing wrong with 8 ounces. It's just that sometimes you need like a grown-up drink. And he has a classic hoodie, which I could see this on Janet.
I like the gray one too. It's nice.
Yeah. There's a certain color we need this in, and that would be magenta. All of my friends know what I'm talking about. Tim Ballard's hardcore, and Janet looks like she's got a perm. Laugh out loud. Yes. Janet,
80s hair.
Janet has the hairstyle that every middle school science teacher had back in '86.
Yeah, I was trying to dress like the like a 80s soccer mom type character, since I couldn't be a 12-year-old kid or a 13-year-old girl.
We could reface you with the photos that we have from you and your sister when you two went to the mall or the county fair. And I don't know if that would be something that would be then
I would just be sitting here. I wouldn't be able to talk.
You would be talking. Your mouth wouldn't be. Your mouth would be doing this. What do they call that? Uncanny valley trick. And many of us watching would be like,
I could be like a blow up a doll. I just sit like that. I don't think that'd be too good.
I'm so thankful my chat doesn't do that. Doesn't take clips. Weird science gym coach. If you had dark hair, yeah.
Hello, Parrot Head. Oh, there's Chuck. Hi, Chuck.
Back to the '80s, my mom got a perm dang near every week. Yep.
Yeah, everybody did. Everybody got perms or crimped their hair. Remember the crimping irons? So
the incinerators, as I call them.
Now we spend hours ironing it, making it straight, so it doesn't have any curl in it.
Well, you look really nice tonight. The only thing, we need to get some shoulder pads for you.
Oh yeah, I forgot about those. Oh, I can go get some socks or something and put them in there.
Because that's the only thing you're missing.
Like Dynasty, everybody had those, big shoulders.
Yeah. Huge shoulder pads. Please speak into the valley.
Bo Derek. I could have done a Bo Derek hairstyle. I don't know if I have a wig like that.
Big Chuck, how you doing tonight, sir? Everybody that's in chat, Rumble included, appreciate you being here tonight. And we were given this mission to discuss this movie with Flady one, and Flady being not here tonight, we're still, he wants us to go with the show. So, Janet, have you ever seen this movie before?
Well, when I first started watching it, I didn't remember it, but then there were scenes that I feel like I had deja vu when I was watching it. So I do think I watched it. It just didn't really connect, I guess, back when I watched it then. But when I watched it this time, I was just going, "Oh, they're so cute."
Yeah, I thought you were going to like. I thought you were trying to get pregnant because you were just like.
I know, it was like they're just adorable. I just want to go over and just give them big old hugs because they were just so cute. Especially River Phoenix. He was just adorable with those little glasses and his little nerdness. I just loved this character. His character was adorable. Even his dad was funny. The guy that plays dad. I've seen him in other things.
Anthony?
Yeah.
Cromwell is his name. Hungar says he's going to get out. He has been beat. He needs sleep.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for stopping in and visiting.
We love seeing you, sir. And I'd like to stream with you and your brother sometime soon. Actually, I want to stream with you, your brother, Janet, and her sister one of these days, but that's just because of the incoming apocalypse.
Yeah, we might break the internet.
I'd be okay with that.
But thank you for coming.
Six Nation 31 King says, I saw it in the theater and on TV a few years after that. Until last weekend, I hadn't seen it in 30 years.
Wow, isn't that amazing?
Yeah. I kind of forgot about this movie, and I didn't realize River Phoenix was part of it, which he's not a bad actor. He's actually a lot of fun to watch in various roles. I think the movie I saw the most with him in it is still The Last Crusade, because he's in the very intro to that. Hungar's like, sounds good to me, buddy. Sir, we'll have to be in touch. Maybe you, once all this holiday stuff finishes up, I'll get a day set, or it might be easier for you and your brother to get a link from Janet and I on a Friday night. It's just a thought. Big Chuck asked, is the Explorers the one with two aliens in it that they meet? Yes. There's actually 3 aliens, 2 of which are played by Robert Picardo, which is one of the best parts of the movie, I think.
The only thing I didn't like about the aliens is they were so slimy looking. You know, I wouldn't have wanted to touch any of them, even though they were kind of, you know, especially the girl. She was kind of cute looking, and she actually had hair and stuff. But they were slimy. They looked, you know, greasy. That was the only thing I didn't like about them.
See, I watched it for the first time on Sunday. And as I watched it, I realized I'd seen parts of it before. When you look at like syndicated television, you're flipping through the channels, you only have 6 stations, and you see that. And when I was a young kid, I wasn't turned on by what I saw. I wasn't interested. I don't know what it was. I can't tell you. But I will say that as I kept watching this movie, because I had to watch it twice. I was in no mood to finish a movie at 4 a.m. on Sunday. And as I watched it again last night with you and everybody in the Discord, I really actually enjoyed what I was seeing, although I thought it was just kind of like I felt like a prelude, like, you know, the beginning book of the Fellowship. Not quite as good as Fellowship, okay, let's not mistake that, but it felt like it was the start of something much bigger, because the movie just kind of ends after you have this nice experience where they finish, and it never really got developed past that. I don't know if I am excited about that thought, or if that's just meant to make you as a child wonder what their further adventures were.
Well, I thought the whole movie was really, really good up until they meet the aliens, because it was like a childhood adventure, you know, like what the Goonies were doing and things like that. But when the Goonies were trying to find the treasure, you know, that was from the treasure map they had, because they had a goal, they had something they were looking forward to doing. The boys, their whole thing was to use this cool orb that they created with the computer, and was able to make it so they could make a ship, something to write in, and put it inside of the orb and float around and fly and stuff. And once they did that, that's when the aliens were able to go through the computer and control their ship and bring it up to them. But they didn't really have anything to say to them. Even if they were the same age mentally as the boys that had built the ship, I still was expecting them to have, you know, talk about where they came from, what they thought about Earth, you know, that kind of stuff. Something, you know, with substance to go along with why they were working so hard to talk to them through their dreams and to get to meet them. I did, you know, that premise to me was where they lacked in the script to give us, you know, something to, you know, grab a hold of. So
Here's a picture of Leslie Reichert, the actress that when she was dolled up, she looked like one of the aliens.
mhm.
That's a female alien right there. Trying to find another photo here of Robert Picardo.
But did you see how she kind of looks oily,
Mm-hmm.
slimy
Like
looking?
she's got that just been glossed look like a lot of my miniatures have.
Hmm.
And I'm okay with that. I mean, I didn't mind the sliminess of them. What I
And
what
the
I
fact
probably,
that he was naked, the guy one was naked, but she had clothes on.
well, I mean, he wasn't really. I wouldn't say he's naked. His pene was withdrawn. He, it was he wasn't showing his absolute
No, I'm
male
not saying
anatomy.
he wasn't showing anything hanging out or anything like what we would look like, but the fact that he didn't have a shirt on or pants or anything like the girl did.
Yeah.
See, I thought that was kind of stupid, in a way, because why is she wearing clothes and him not? I mean, it just took away from the reality of what the boys were seeing, even though I know they weren't real. I mean, it's just that all the work they went through to get the aliens to do all this stuff to give it some kind of realism about kids playing with their dad's car, sneaking out, smoking, doing all the things they're not supposed to do as a teenager or a young kid about to hit puberty, that type of stuff, the mischievous child. And that's what they were basically when we figured that out. But I was just let down a little bit when it came to the aliens. But going up to that part with the boys, the things they talked about, like the one boy that didn't really want to go home because his dad was, not too easy to live with or whatever. But and his dad was a junk collector or whatever, which I thought was really cool when they got to go to the garage and dig around in all those treasure trove of junk, which I thought was really cool because you just don't know what's in there. And what you're missing out on until you dig, deep down in the pile of stuff, which I love doing because I love, like those TV shows where they go to people's homes and dig around and find stuff. I can't even remember the name of it right now, but that's one of those shows.
Like Pickers or Hoarders or something.
Pickers. Yeah. Pickers. I love that show with the two guys that travel and go through stuff. They find some of the coolest stuff. And I had relatives that have barns full of shit like that. So,
I used to work for TGI Fridays in the Midwest, and one time their marketing director picked up a few of us, and we had to go out with them and ride to a barn that TGI Fridays had just bought like $35,000 worth of stuff from an estate sale, and basically we got all this junk, and that was kind of interesting. We spent like 6 hours there picking over stuff, putting it in a trailer, and I think they still had that unit when I left them about 6 months later. They were still distributing that all over the place. I don't know if you have a TGI Fridays in your neighborhood, but that in my parlance, TGI Fridays is known for having junk on the walls. There's stuff that like used to belong at like a sit-go station in the middle of nowhere. They just have all the oddities, and you'll have like a horn or a tricycle from like 1921, or you'll have stuff there. It's just very interesting.
Yeah, it's like an art museum almost of nostalgia, from around the United States. That's what's so cool about in New Orleans when you go to the House of Blues, which is owned by one of the Blues Brothers, and
Dan Aykroyd.
Chairs, yeah, they have chairs and other unique things, some little tables and stuff, all made out of old license plates and like driftwood and stuff. It's really, really cool that somebody could make that stuff and actually make a living by selling it and recycling it and making it into something that's Art Deco, which is really awesome. And I kind of got that vibe. That was one of the things I really loved, was seeing the boys take old junk and use their imagination and their, snuck tools that they took from their parents and create something cool to go inside of the bubble so they'd have something to sit in and ride around and figure out how to have air and snacks and whatever else, because they don't know how long they're going to be in there. They were very reckless, but I thought that they did real well. The director did really well at portraying, children's imaginations. And the only one that was really smart was kind of like the nerd one, which was River Phoenix's character. And he was so cute when he was sitting there talking to the girl alien, and she was kind of cooing over him because she thought he was so cute, and taking her little suction cup finger and poking him with it and stuff. And then he was like leaning over, kind of acting like a man, where you get some older man, a groaner, I can't believe I said that. But older men's poses, for way past his age, whatever age he was supposed to be, 12, I guess, or 13. And it was just so cute. I just thought they were adorable. I mean, just like I felt when I watched Christy McNichol in the movie that The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia, to give you that nostalgia of what it was young to be young and fall in love or be adventurous and see the world with awe. That I guess I would just, if I had the smarts that I have now and could go back and be 13 again, I might do it if I was allowed to take my knowledge with me, so I wouldn't make the same stupid mistakes. But I just thought it just warmed my heart. I mean, the whole time I felt like my hormones were just going in overdrive, because I'm like, this is so cute. Because you just, it's just like when you see a baby somewhere, you want to go over and hold it, but you can't, because the parents are going to go, some freak wants to hold our kid, because you're oohing and on over, babies and stuff. So I don't know. It was just, I just thought they were adorable.
Okay, guys, if you ever see Janet at a convention and you have a newborn child, she will take a photo with that little baby.
For sure. But it has to be a real baby.
Yeah, it has to be a real baby. Can't be a fake baby. Don't be a
doll. Well, maybe if it's a good collectible.
No Mattel, no Fisher Price. Thank you. It was an interesting film because it felt like the way I interpreted it was the aliens were reaching out, trying to contact us. And the reason why I know that is that, one, the computer was spitting out information. And two, well, on the computer real quick, the computer was supposed to be Apple IIc. And it was not an Apple IIc. That's like a workstation computer that was worth like $20,000 back in the day, or $12,000 if you knew how to bid things right. But I've got to say that computer was just way over the top, and you could never get that stuff on an Apple IIgs in 1991, what they were pulling up on it. And I just thought that movie, they did a very good job of showing what could be. This is another movie in the 80s where they show what you can possibly do with CGI, and it's right up there with Tron and the Last Starfighter.
Well, the thing is, it made it believable to me, that part of it with the computer, is because who his father was. And his father was asking him about different things and whether he was using his stuff. And he's like, no, it was just some stuff laying around. Remember? When he came down there and he was looking for the bug bombs or something. So by them adding that little part about his dad being a scientist and having the availability to get all this cool stuff to build, a mega computer or whatever that he had, pasted together, and soldered together. I think that is what made that part of it, to me, realistic. The only thing that we both said when we got to the one scene where they went out to the field and by that big tree, and
what did it plug into?
yeah, we were wondering where the power source was because they didn't have a car battery or anything that we could see to give them the power they needed to start this all up out in the middle of a field. They weren't, in a house.
Yeah.
So that was a little,
I won't get too upset. The computer work was done fairly well. I just feel like the movie was trying to tell us that the aliens were sending messages to everybody because the sheriff, played by the wonderful late Dick Miller, and you may remember him as the gun store owner in Terminator 1, or one of the parents, I believe, in Gremlins 1, which also happens in Kingston Falls, which is where this movie is supposed to take place. The Joe Dante verse, as some people call it. Joe Dante was the director of both movies. You have these little snippets where you catch that the Gremlins just happened last year. We're still not certain what happened with the riot. That's on the newspaper. But then Dick Miller says, I haven't had a dream like that since I was a kid, and now I'm having them again. So I was wondering if like other people in the town were having that shared experience thanks to the aliens. What were they doing to everybody to make this happen? And it was kind of cool to see the River Phoenix character, which I'm blanking on his name right now. I think it was Wolfgang. He was completely into whatever they were doing because he knew that he could show them that it would be possible through science. The part that I thought was interesting the second time around was the bubble that they sent through the bookshelf. And all the books have a little bubble that's been blown out. And then with all the cats started kind of moving around, I thought, oh, great, we're going to see a cat get killed on TV, just like in that wonderful movie, The Boondock Saints, which that did not happen. It's only a PG movie. But if you want to see a cat get killed, watch Boondock Saints. But yeah, the CGI that Six Nations 31 Kings is talking about, the CGI in this movie was really good because they were trying to show the kids how to build a circuit board and what to do with their gift. And I kind of like that. And then, of course, you have everybody having their dreams later on. And so they invite the hot chick, which was played by Amanda Miller, I believe.
Yep.
She was in the movie Can't Buy Me Love with Patrick Dempsey, which you may remember Patrick Dempsey from Dark Side of the Moon with Transformers 3. I don't recommend you watch that. There's other ways to watch it that are funner, that are more fun. This young lady plays, quote unquote, the romantic love interest in the movie, but it's not really love interest. It's more like he admires her from afar. And at the very end of the movie, he actually has the wherewithal, the bravery to actually like kind of make contact with her. Not in a dirty way. These are middle schoolers. Okay. Get that out of the way.
Yeah, I thought that was the whole thing was very family oriented, basically. But the movie to me was focused more on the kids than it was for grown-ups to find enjoyment in it. The way I could see it, it was almost like if you were 14 and under, you'd probably really enjoy this movie. Down to maybe 14 to 7. To me, they limited it a lot. They narrated it instead of, it was rated PG, but it was more for kids. You know what I mean? I had a hard time understanding why it was rated PG when it came out, because to me, it didn't have anything in it, besides the kiss. There was only one kiss, and it wasn't even a naughty kiss. It was more of a peck, like, I don't know. It just, to me, it wasn't, I didn't see anything that was, dirty, out of it. I thought it was very clean compared to what you see today in anything. But maybe it was because of the aliens and the fear that someone might have. Oh, or maybe some of the flashes that you saw on the TVs about war, people shooting each other, people yelling and stuff like that. Maybe it's something that made it.
They made certain to show us that the kid was a big fan of 50s sci-fi. And one of the best examples of 50s sci-fi was actually shown behind what that guy. He's playing all the clips from the movies when he's trying to make a point, and he shows what was the robot's name and The Day the Earth Stood Still.
I don't remember.
I'm
But War of the Worlds was on TV when he was sleeping when in the opening scene, I think.
Yeah.
And I think everyone knows about that, about how it supposedly scared a bunch of people to jump out of windows and stuff, thinking it was we were being invaded by aliens when it was on the radio. Because you had to use your imagination then. You didn't have visual aid, to help you get through certain things. But I thought that the whole thing was really good about showing the little bit of each of the boys' lives and what they did every day. And the one boy, I'm trying to remember what his name is on here. It's Darren. He played Darren Woods, the one that had this dad that was a drunk, would pick up junk, junk man or whatever. And then you had Wolfgang, which was River Phoenix, the little science nerd kid. And then you had Ben Crandall, which was Ethan Hawke. So, and he was just I guess, a normal kid, because you see him getting beat up at school. And then you see Darren, who helps him by actually, punching the bully a few times, because he seemed like he had a little more muscle or whatever than Ethan Hawke's character, because he was very scrawny, and he had a bloody nose and stuff. But it was really cute to show a little details of the boys to kind of start them out on their character arc about being able to come to fruition of building what they were dreaming about and putting it down on paper, and then having River Phoenix's character be able to up the computer with the right circuitry so it could understand whatever was being sent to it. And then the young boy that had the junk dad that took junk everywhere or whatever, he was able to get them the parts they needed to build what they needed to be inside of the orb or whatever, and be able to fly around in comfort and be able to have the mask they needed to be able to breathe oxygen and stuff while they were in there. That whole scene though, when they took off and the helicopter came, I really thought that was really good the way they did it with the CGI, because you see it lifting up off the ground, the little car that looked like it came from a carnival ride, right? Coming up, and you see the boys and stuff in there. But I didn't see the bubble around it because it was more prominent when they were just in the bubble and they weren't in a seat. But when the helicopter was shining its light on it, you could see that it was inside of something. It was a bubble around a ship that they had built. And I just thought it was really cool. I mean, the way that they were able to do that, and then having it zipping around, and the way it flew up just a little bit above the ground, and then was able to go higher and higher. I thought that was I thought it was really cute. I thought they did a really good job at making it look like, considering how old the movie is. I was really surprised how well they did for the special effects.
I thought the special effects were fantastic in this movie. Crafting Gamer tells me that, have you seen a newish Brothers Grimm movie? A kitten literally goes to splat like a chunky salsa. One of the main bad guys eats a piece of it.
I haven't seen that.
Wolfgang reminds me of a kid named Yan in high school. He always had a rucksack full of hard drives and PC parts. His parents were literal scientists, and the guy's probably designing rockets right now.
Definitely. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, Elon, someone like Elon that was able to get his hands on the right things, was always able to come up with something. All these kids, I I mean, when I was growing up, I wanted a chemistry set. I wanted a wood burning kit, and I wanted lots of things like that to just do experiments and stuff like that. And but the only bad thing is that I wasn't allowed to play with any of it unless one of my parents was there to watch me, so I didn't blow something up or burn down my house.
I had a rule like that in my home where my parents would let me play with the trains, but I couldn't plug them in unless mom and dad were there, and one of them was downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
And now I live in a place without basements, and I don't know what to do with myself.
So you liked train sets?
That's how I got into this. That was my gateway.
Yeah, I always wanted a train set, and I wanted to be able to make the little table with all the little trees and the little hills with houses on it with the lights and all that, but it was so expensive to be able to do it. My mom was like, it's just too expensive. I can't afford to buy you, $10 for one tree, to put on your little set.
That's
so I was never able to do it. It sucked. And I was like, why is nerd stuff so expensive?
Okay, Janet, you can get away with home crafting your table and learning how to do kit bashing off of styrofoam and other things to make trees and shrubbery. And then you can just save that money for a big transformer to run all the trains at once.
Well, as I got a little older, I found like deer moss and different things like that, and then hot glue gun. And I could make all kinds of cool things. And I would get pieces of driftwood and glue and make my own little wax mushrooms and things like that, and glue them on the driftwood with little pieces of moss and stuff, and make it look like a little area where fairies might live, things like that. So I was able to do that. I just was never able to do the whole thing with the big train sets and stuff. It just was, we had a 3-bedroom house when my dad finally retired with 1 bathroom. So we just didn't really have, the room to have a big table with stuff on it and stuff for me to build. So we didn't really have the space, and it was expensive. So I just never got to do it. But I got to go to a couple museums that my mom would take me to in different places when we would travel to see relatives, to get to see little models, with little cities and stuff like that. So I thought that was cool. What was that movie that we watched when I said I loved the little city? That was like, and you made fun of the way it looked like when they blew it up in outer space. I'm trying to remember what movie it was that we did a review on, and I thought the little city was awesome. I can't remember the name of it right now, but I will later.
Is it a recent movie?
Yeah, it was one of the ones we reviewed not that long ago, and it had like an opening scene. I don't know. I can't remember. I'll have to go back and look at the names of the movies. It might have been The Last Starfighter or something, when they were coming in and looking down at the city or something. I can't remember. But it was really cool. I thought that whole thing was really cool. I think that a lot of these people that get to do props and a set design, things like that, they get to build those type of things. What a fun job that is, to get to do that every day for your job and get paid. I think that's really nice. But I cannot remember it for anything. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But it had like a little tram tracks with ships. It might have been Logan's Run, maybe. I don't know. I can't remember. It was one of the ones that just had models in it. Because we reviewed a few that had models, little models. You could tell that the town wasn't a real town, that it was a model town. And I think that's really cool, the creativity that goes in behind that type of scenes and, props for a movie. It's just awesome, I think. I would love to have been involved in that kind of stuff with some of the things that I do myself, with things that I've made, crafting and stuff. But, some people are into it and some people aren't.
Yeah.
But I thought they did an excellent job in this movie at making almost every single scene believable for what the movie was, what it was meant to be. I thought they did pretty good on that. Except when they did land in the water, the way it was made and there's no bubble around it anymore, I think it would have sank a lot quicker than
Probably.
the time that they took for them to, like, they were just taking their time getting out type of thing. So I thought that was interesting.
I'm going through the movie list we did and forgot about some of these films we watched. My bad.
It's all right. We've done a lot of movies. We're almost, is this episode 60? That's 60 movies.
Yeah.
So, and then when we did one or two of them had, at least one had 3 separate shows that we watched and then did the review on the whole thing, right? And that was for the Star Wars trilogy thing for the TV show. And then we did Imagination Land. And that was a couple of episodes, wasn't it?
Yep.
So, that's a lot of information that we've been taking in. But yeah, I just thought they did a really good job. And I thought the boys were definitely, believable for their characters. Even the one that didn't even end up staying in movies, I thought he did a really good job.
Yeah, he actually played a pretty good character.
Yeah, he did really good, believable.
I was very impressed with the child actors in this movie. They all seem to portray themselves as competent little kids that they weren't trying to act above their age. They weren't trying to lie to you like I'm really a 21-year-old or they weren't pulling some facts of life, reverse BS. But they did a very good job of showing you. They did a very good job of showing you how these kids were able to function as kids, but they were still making the decisions they were making.
Yeah. Did you, were you able to find out exactly how old they were when they were making the movie? Because
14.
Oh, they were? Because to me, I guess they could have been 14, but they seemed like maybe 12 or 13. So that they were really close, but they definitely were believable to me to be the young age that they were supposed to be in the movie. I thought they were just so cute. Young nerds in their prime, before they became men, I just thought they were just sweethearts, but they sure changed when they grow up. At least these actors did. And it was kind of sad thinking about River Phoenix, knowing, getting to watch him in the age of wonder, to look at the world with wonder and know that not long after that by the age of 29, he'd be a drug addict and die from an overdose. It was kind of sad to think about everything he lost in his life. It was just, it's very emotional for me to think about it that way. I hate that I do think of things like that. I guess it's because I'm, a mom and everything now. So when I see that and know their future, it's just really hard for me not to focus on that, even though I don't want to. And to see such potential in there and to know their future is just bleak because they hung with the wrong people or they didn't have good supervision by their parents, or I don't know. It's just sad to me. Hi, Bone. Haven't seen Bone in a while.
Hey, Bone. How you doing, sir?
Welcome. But, that whole scenario just, I'm not trying to bring down the show or anything, but it's just sad. And then also the young woman that played the love interest, she also died, didn't she?
Amanda Peterson did die.
So it's just sad to think about it.
We're also reviewing and recollecting over a movie that was filmed in 85. So that's at least 35 years old.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to be getting weepy about that because we can, but it's just this movie is an ancient film. And so it's not going to be unusual for half of the cast to be in the ground already. And I that really kicked me in the ding when I watched the Blues Brothers with you. That was like the hard one because like half the band is dead.
Mhm.
It's not just John anymore. It's like half of the musicians for that show are now gone. And that made me kind of realize just how old I am. And I don't want to know. I don't want to focus on that.
Well, yeah, the boys made me feel very old, motherly for them.
Ethan
And
Hawke is a little older than me.
so I just, it was very, it was a good movie though. I enjoyed the movie. It made me geek out a little bit thinking about, how cool it would have been to have been able to do something like the boys did. And to not so much to meet the aliens, but just the fact that they created that orb and were able to get in it and fly around, and be able to be the first in the world to do something like that. How exciting that would be, and to have to sneak around because your parents are going to say, "Heck no, I ain't going to let you do that," because they could have died 4 or 5 times during the movie from some of the dumb stunts they did. But that's why God makes sure that we don't see what all our kids are involved in, as they're learning life. I mean, because kids are meant to, try things out and explore. And basically every kid is an explorer to some degree, when they get out away from their parents to do things that they're not supposed to do, trying things out, building those ramps that we used to build in the street with rickety pieces of wood that we find laying around and center blocks and stuff, and then ride our bikes over them, or skateboard or whatever, or even our roller skates, the dumb stuff that we did, or jumping off a 2-story house with an umbrella thinking that we could float down like Mary Poppins. I mean, I don't know why we do it, but every kid does something like that. We just don't understand that we don't have, that life can't end. We all think we're invincible for some reason. And I really wish in a way that we were still like that, even though we're getting older, because we start thinking about, wow, maybe I only have 40 years left in my life. What am I going to do in these next 40 years? That's all I have, and you want to live. I try to live that way anyways. I try to get as much as I can out of every single day. And I hate to go to bed and close my eyes because I know that as soon as I go to sleep, the day's over, and that's one day off of my calendar that I have left to explore what's going on and learn something new every day. And I think more people would enjoy their life if they try to just look at life like that and try to get as much out of every single day as they can. By reading or listening to wonderful music or watching movies or hanging with really cool people. I don't know. That's why I love these movies, that the nostalgic ones that take you back and let you be a kid for just a little bit of time. I think it's good for you. I think it's good for your imagination, to use your imagination. I don't care how old you are, to keep using it.
Sick Nation 31 Kings says something that gets my juices going. He's like, I got my first concussion from a plywood and milk crate ramp for my BMX bike.
Yeah.
The memories. I didn't have a BMX bike. My dad, we weren't like the richest family out there. My dad would put things towards the things he liked, and then like whatever would happen with the rest of the stuff. So I got a banana seat bike. And those of you that are recognizing what this does to your masculinity when you're a young kid will realize the damage has been done. But no, it actually was a really good bike. It was fairly comfortable. But I jumped. We had a ramp in front of my house, and I decided that I would jump this sidewalk ramp, and I jumped it, and I watched my bike go off to the right, and I stayed on my current trajectory, and I smashed down on my chin to meet the sidewalk, and it was no bueno. I did not like it, would not repeat, 0 out of 10. Sprained my arm, got stitches, and went back to school the next day. It was not cool. I would not recommend that. I mean, you're going to get cuts and scrapes on you as a kid anyway, but that I could have done that one better.
Yeah, my first bike wreck it wasn't even my bike. It was on Air Force Base, and we had built a couple of different ramps, different heights and different lengths, trying to, like to see what kind of evil Knievel stuff we could do. And some kid had a big wheel, and I was bigger than some of the kids that were riding the big wheels, but I took it from him, and I was riding it as fast as I could, and I thought, I'm going to jump this jump. And it just went straight down, face first into the concrete. So it didn't work out too good, but I tried. I had scrapes and stuff all the time, my elbows and my knees, the tops of my feet, because I wasn't smart enough to make sure I wore tennis shoes. And I was doing a lot of it. But we all need bumps and bruises to evolve as a human being, I think. I think that might be part of our problem today is so many kids stayed at home and played video games instead of climbing trees and taking a card, a deck of cards, sneaking it out of your house, and then hooking them on your bicycle with clothespins, stuff like that, and making it sound cool when you're riding down the road. All these things. Playing with yard darts, lawn darts, and just fun stuff, croquet and badminton, and I'm trying to think of all the other cool stuff that we had when we were kids outside. I used to take the little army men, and we'd set them all around, and we'd throw like M80s, whatever those little really badass, firecrackers you could get, because you could go buy them, after the 4th, the next day they'd be selling them, and you can get a whole bag full of them, for a few dollars. And we could have blew our hands off, but we were not smart enough to understand that. But we knew they were dangerous. It's still fun though.
Information says he had alloy rims on his bike. A few months later, it got stolen, so he got a grainy seat 18-speed bike with fenders after that. It killed him socially for weeks on end until the rainy season. Parents were so pissed off. And he worked his ass off to make up for that mistake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It wasn't my first, says Crafting Gamer, but my best wipeout was in my grandparents' rock quarry, going down a pile of gravel, bike getting stuck in a gravel, going head over the handlebars straight into the gravel pile.
Yeah, Sandy and I went bike riding, and it was a bunch of hills why do we never think about going back? When you go down these big hills and stuff, that you got to go back up to get back home or whatever, think about that. But we were going, and my sister was saying that she couldn't make the brakes work. Okay. And there were hand brakes on the bike that she had. So I let her ride mine, which had foot brakes on it. And I remember we were going down this hill, and it was going so fast, I forgot they didn't have foot brakes, and I squeezed those handles, and I just went flipping like that. I mean, I had my knees and my elbows, and I was just tore all up the top of my feet. And Sandy just laughed and laughed at me as I had to push the bike back up the hill, covered with gravel. I had road rash really bad. So, Sandy ain't the sweet girl everybody thinks she is. She was mean. And I was the one that let her use my bike. So, well, that was the way it was.
This movie brought back a lot of memories being a kid. Mm-hmm. But I agree with you. This movie was not aimed towards adults. This movie was aimed at young kids that were able to explore out at the movie theater for the day. Mm-hmm. And it certainly made me feel like a little kid with all the things the kids were doing. Like, I was in my cousin's basement one time, and he pulls out about 5 or 6 transistor radios and a motherboard from an Apple IIc computer, which, by the way, was born in a garage. And he says, I'm going to put all these parts on this computer, and we're going to build a bigger, badder computer. Well, my cousin Tony was not an electrician. He's a nice man, but he's not an electrician. And that experiment failed. They didn't get hurt, but they found out what electricity does on a motherboard when you start altering parts. So, I mean, he got lucky. but they realized the error of their ways after that, and they stopped doing things like that. So nowadays, you can't ask him to get on the PC. He's just like, I've got an Xbox, which I kind of understand. This movie has so many things in it, though, that reminded me of the 80s. And then just the only thing that really could have been more bombastic was the score.
Oh, for the music?
Yeah, the music, it could have been a little bit more inspiring. There's some good
There was I liked a little bit of the music, but the scenes I thought were what took the movie the farthest for me. I mean, there was I had so many flashbacks, like the scene I told you about when we were watching it, when they got up on that hill by that big tree and they're playing on it, and the camera panned over to where River Phoenix was walking around before they made the ball around him, and then you could see over into the valley, and you could see the way the houses were all set up, and immediately I saw Poltergeist when they were over this town, and he was looking around saying, we could build right here could be your master bedroom, and you could look at this, blah blah blah. And I was like, then I started thinking, wow, was this filmed around the same time, and is it in the same area that they filmed that? Because that's the scene that popped in my head when we got to see that one scene. And I had that a few times when different scenes happened. It reminded me of other movies from that time. And so it made me very nostalgic with that. But the scenes definitely made me reminisce about different things from when I was younger. So, which is great. I mean, because, we all need some type of escapism. And if you escape into movies and they make you reminisce and give you good feelings, then, that's great, I think.
This was a pretty fun movie. I didn't realize how much seeing River Phoenix as a kid would affect me in this film. I was very surprised. I was very surprised to see that, and contrasting him from River Phoenix in 1989 from the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Mm-hmm.
He really looks a little bit more grown up in that film, although he will always be perpetually young. He's always going to be, because he's gone now. And same thing with Amanda Peterson. She had a early start to a great career. Leonard Maltin, the film critic, wrote about her and said, in a perfect world, she would have, all the opportunities you could ever want, because she was such a pretty young girl. And then that would have developed into something different than what she experienced, which that was drugs.
Yeah.
And it made it really sad that she passed the way she did just 8 years ago, because of various concoction. They might actually say what it is in the Wikipedia, but it wasn't important enough for me to remember. It's just, she died of drugs.
Yeah.
Sorry to say that. I like this film. I'm not going to say it's the world's best movie ever, but I'm going to definitely say that, if I've got young kids around, the boys are watching this.
Yeah, I think if you have a child in your life that that's about, I'd say at least 9 to maybe 14, I guess, they probably would like this movie. I think it's got it's directed right at them. I think this whole movie was made just for kids between that age group. And I think it did a good job at showing you what it was like for a kid if they had the imagination of wanting to be something and do something like that. Almost like that one movie that you said is one of your favorites that had Robert Preston in it, and he was recruiting the last starfighter.
Yep, Centauri.
So it's had that same type of
feel.
Yeah, the same kind of seeing a young person wanting to explore and do something more with their life. They just didn't know what, but they wanted it to be fun, You know what I mean? In a childlike way of looking at the way of seeing it, not as a grown up. I think like the Bridge to Terabithia. There's lots of really good movies out there for this type of story that pulls you in as a child and let you see the world through the child's eyes. But even the scene where Ethan Hawke is saying, "This is it," that he started realizing that something wasn't right because these aliens weren't talking to them about, hey, you're ruining your planet. You guys need to start doing this if you want to be able to survive, or something, an adult conversation that he was thinking about, even though he was a child, he was still thinking about that how important it is to see another life form on our planet, or not on their planet, but they were speaking to another life form from somewhere else. They didn't even find out where they were from or get any really good information. That was one of the things that I thought was kind of bizarre about it. But the fact that Ethan Hawke's character was able to think about that as a kid that was 13 years old, supposedly, and they laughed and stuff at the childlike qualities of the aliens that they were, associating with. And even River Phoenix's character is kind of like getting into the fact that this alien girl thinks he's attractive and he mussing his hair and, saying, maybe we could go to Paris, things like that. I just thought it was really cute. And the dad got mad when the dad alien, when he came in there and he's yelling at him. And then you had the one boy whose dad was always griping and complaining about things that he wasn't good enough. You need to do more, things like that to the one boy. And so when the other guy came in and the dad came in and was griping at him, he realized that's who it is. It wasn't some other big alien. It was their dad griping at them for doing bad things and running off and not telling them where he went and things like that. So even though they were from two different galaxies or two different species or whatever, they were still the same. They had a lot of qualities that coexisted. And the fact that because they had been watching all these TV shows for a very long time, and that was their way of viewing humans, they were able to communicate using the words they had learned from watching TV, and which I told you at that time reminded me of the movie that I wanted us to review with Sigourney Weaver. And I'm trying to remember the name of it again. Galaxy Quest. Yeah. So that whole premise of the aliens contacting the humans, thinking that because they'd seen all these TV shows that had like Star Trek and stuff on it, that they thought they were big warriors and that we had all these cool weapons and stuff on these ships and we'd be able to get rid of the bad guys for them. So it was basically kind of that premise, but it was kids, little kids. And we talked about some stuff from Star Trek that made me think about it. That there was this one episode in Star Trek where there was a kid and it was causing chaos for Captain Kirk and all them and nearly killing all of them. And it ended up being
Charlie Zero.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, so there was a lot of little things in there that made me think about, but I'm a grown up. So the things that popped in my head were a little different than if a child that was 13 or 10 or 11, in that age range, watch this movie. They wouldn't be thinking about that. They would be thinking of the awe of how cool it would be to be able to build something like they built, fly around and maybe get to meet aliens. So
I'm going to take you back.
They would be able to look at it in a totally different way as a grown-up watching it with their kids. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was very enjoyable. I had, ups and downs through the whole movie because of when I realized who the characters were, the actors they were, and stuff like that. I'm trying to see it.
All right.
Is this your yearbook?
This is junior year No, sophomore year of high school.
Is that you?
15 to 16 years old.
Wow.
Let me see if I can get a better photo.
It's just really hard to tell. Yeah, it does look like you. It's amazing how much changes in this amount of time, huh?
That is 31 years ago. Hey, Legion of Myth, how you doing?
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's 1991. Not my best look. I'll just say that.
What's funny is you think about it, and you graduate from high school, and when you're 18 years old, a year after you graduate or whatever, and you can join the military and go fight at war, and it's just amazing. We think you're grown up when you're 18. How much we really don't know when you're 18 years old.
Freaking 48. Still don't know squad.
None of us know anything. That's why we need to learn every day. Try to learn something new, something about what's going on in the world. But in the movie, we only see. We got to see each of them's parents and one teacher. Or maybe there was two teachers. I'm trying to remember. There wasn't really grown-ups.
One teacher that I remember.
Yeah, and then you had the sheriff and his deputy in the helicopter.
And the deputy was played by Meshach Taylor, the assistant to the Designing Women. If you guys were into that show, I watched it because I like Delta Burke, and they brought on Gerald Ramey. Gerald Ramey later on had his own show called Major Dad. And
who was Delta Burke married to? She was married to some famous actor, right? That was on some
Gerald
cop
Ramey,
show.
Major Dad.
Yeah. So yeah, I was gonna say, there you go.
And Dixie Carter was on there too, and for her being an older lady, I see a trend here, Bruce. For her being an older lady, she was an absolute gem of an actress. I think she's gone now, sadly, but yeah, that entire show was just babes. And I know there's people like, you like Ann Potts? Of course. She was a petite little firecracker. What? No liquid sky? Yeah. Howdy, howdy. He's lurking for a little bit.
But yeah, I think they did a great job. And who was the director of this movie?
Joe Dante.
Joe Dante.
Man behind Gremlins. This is an actual kids movie that Joe Dante did, and he delivered a kids movie. It's a good film. This came out right about the same time as Back to the Future, and like a year after Poltergeist.
Yeah, I definitely got Poltergeist vibes from some of the scenes. Not that it was with ghosts or anything like that. Just some of the when you look through the camera, the scene, when you make that little square and you just look in that's what kept popping in my head in a couple of little scenes, especially the one overlooking the hill. I was like, oh my gosh, that looks like a scene right out of Poltergeist, So I don't know. I just thought it was interesting, but I thought the movie was very well done. I thought that it looked like everyone that worked on this movie knew what they were doing, and they did a good job doing it. Even, the casting director picking 3 boys to be the main, actors in the movie. I just thought it was really well made, very well made. You're right, though, about the score, because you know what? I don't really remember the music that much at all. It didn't really impact me.
When you are hearing it, you're thinking, this takes me back to John Williams' major era, the 80s. It's not John Williams as much as I thought it was.
But the opening scene where you see Ethan Hawke laying in bed sleeping, and the TV's on, and the black and white, and it's the War of the Worlds, the sound effects made me think of that game, Space Invaders. So it popped in my head, the sound effects from it.
And that's kind of funny because whenever they watch the movie at the drive-in with another Robert Picardo is playing Starkiller, a throwback, mind you, to Lucasfilm was going to call Luke Skywalker Luke Starkiller, but Robert Picardo,
he was way different with that white wig on than he does when he's bald.
He does. I liked him as the alien. As Starkiller, he just looked like he was playing an Italian sci-fi guy, which is what it's supposed to be. But the sound effects for that entire portion were taken from the game Yar's Revenge off of a Atari 2600. And boy, I've just conjured a bunch of pimples in the chat there. Getting those. I remember that game. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, lots of little things just popped in my head watching this because it was a lot of nostalgia. It just opened so many doorways in my mind and in my emotions just from watching it, back and forth from back then into the future is how I felt watching. It was like some kind of roller coaster ride almost, watching it, because it would make me go back and forth from reality into the movie and then also into my past. It made me think of things from when I was a young girl. So I thought it was really, really good. It was very entertaining. And it passed really fast, which you don't get very often anymore. You feel like, wow, the movie's over already, So and that's how I basically felt after watching it. It was just, to me, it went by really quickly. It's because it was entertaining. It filled in the gaps. I didn't notice anything else going on around me because I was watching, what was going on in the movie. So
I'm really digging these Sunday nights where we watch films together.
It's fun. I like it. I look forward to it. And especially when you have a really good movie, you get to look forward to something that you haven't seen before. And I couldn't remember if I'd seen it, but once I started watching it, there were certain things that happened in it that made me go, I think I have seen this before, but I really don't think I did. I mean, I think I saw scenes that were probably from the trailer or something that I'd seen before, but not because I've seen the whole movie, because I just don't remember it. The first thing that popped in my head watching it was, I know that kid. I recognize him. And it ended up being Ethan Hawke, but that was because I've seen him in other movies, not so much that I saw this movie with him in it.
Here's the only real problem with the movie I have is when I started doing research on this film, and they have the top cast properly set up here, but then we start going into like all the Steve Jackson people, which for us gamers, Steve Jackson is completely somebody different. Then we have Little Miss Peterson right here. She was a cutie growing up. The nasty kid. Here's the third seat guy. Way down here. What the hell, IMDb? Come on, get with it. Get with the program.
Just a kid.
Yeah.
He's still a kid because he's not in the movies anymore.
No, he's not. This is the lady that had the huge, I don't even know how you describe that hairstyle when they have like the huge like gathering of hair and it's like a top knot, but it's not quite a top knot. You know what I mean? And then of course they don't feature any of the photos from her movie.
Yeah, she was in lots of movies. The woman that played the mother. Yeah. In that one movie, wasn't she the one that was doing all the cooking and everything, right? So yeah, I've seen her in tons of things.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any photographs, but in this movie, she has like an Eastern European look to her. And between her and her husband in
the sweaters they were wearing were like very Holland or Sweden or something like that. That's what they look to me. Like maybe they were wearing wooden shoes. I didn't get to see their feet. But the mother that came in for Ethan Hawke when he was writing his will and testament, that was kind of cute too. Yeah. That scene. And the mom came in, and that's what I was trying to find. I went to the town today looking for a shirt that looked like the one the mother was wearing. It was all buttoned up and had the sleeves. She almost looked like a Jehovah's Witness or something, or Pentecostal woman. And her hair was all big and, like 80s hair. But she looked familiar too, the woman that played the mom. But I couldn't find any shirt that reminded me of the one that she was wearing. So, and she did have those real high-waisted pants that looked like they were buttoned all the way. Yeah, they went all the way up under her boobies. I just thought, I'm never gonna find pants like that. So I'm just wearing my regular jeans. But I was trying to, dress like a 80s mom, whatever. But if I could have found that shirt, I would have definitely worn it.
This is the girlfriend from the Star Killer movie at the drive-in. Mm-hmm. And here's how IMDb presents her, with her head turned towards Eddie Murphy. Like, gee, thanks.
Well, it's because she was in that scene with him, but they didn't get any frontal picture.
There's not a facial shot. I mean, come on, Hollywood. You do facial shots like it's going out of style. What the fuck?
They don't care because she's not really a famous person, so they don't really.
And then here's Brooke.
That her?
She's a science teacher.
Okay.
And I mean, when I say Brooke Bundy was like a beautiful young lady in her 20s and late teens, like here she is in Fire Creek when she was like 20 or 21 years old. Wagon Train.
Oh yeah, that her hair in that picture is very pretty.
And this is like from 2011. The lady, like you and her are drinking from the same fountain of youth. Like we can't tell. I don't know. Is she like 40? I don't know. Maybe she's 38. Maybe she's 48. I don't know.
Well, she's taking good care of herself, and that's important. I think. Mm-hmm. I wish everyone could do it.
But
yeah, she's very pretty. The girl that was in it, when he was looking at her through her window, I was like, oh, great. They're using it to be peeping toms. I thought that was cute. The whole thing was cute when they did that scene.
I think my favorite part of the movie actually was the part where Meshack Taylor and Dick Miller are in the helicopter and they see the thing flying around. Mm-hmm. And they don't know what to say. Like Kai Mirian is in the chat with us, and he's chatting with us last night while we're watching the movie. And as soon as the UFO takes off, the two guys look at each other in a helicopter, and Kai's like, "We saw nothing. We put nothing in the report." And I could see that between two professionals. Like, I don't know what the fuck that was. We're not going to do this.
But what was so cute was when he did find it in the woods. For some reason, he was looking for it. And then he finds it. He knows by looking at it that it was built by kids or something.
Yeah.
And then it connects. All of it connects together when you find out he also had dreams when he was a little boy, and that he wanted to be the explorer. He wanted to be Ethan Hawke, to be one of those kids, and get to fly up there and see what was going on. So the two alien kids, they're telling them that we had to find kids because we knew the grown-ups wouldn't accept us or want to talk to us, so we had to go for children. And if that guy that was the sheriff could have just gotten to go in that little ship or that orb and go up there and meet him, that would have been he would have loved it. That is a lifetime dream for him.
It would have blown his mind.
Yeah, he would have that opportunity, but it would have been cool to see that. Because I felt bad for him. But the fact that it made him happy to see the other boys or got to be successful in what they were dreaming about, and it coming true for them, but it didn't for him. But he believed it now. He realized that it wasn't just a dream, that it was reality, but he was dreaming. So I think that was kind of cool. So it kind of answered a dream for an adult, because we have so many grown-ups right now that are talking about being abducted or something they've seen, and people laugh at them and say, oh, you're just a nut, whatever, or a conspiracy theorist or whatever it is. But to get to see it unfold in the movie and become a reality for an actual grown up in the movie, I thought that was kind of nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Flady. Flady's in here saying thank you.
Our friend Flady's in here, and we want to thank him for being in here tonight.
I hope you're all right. I hope you feel better. Just get some rest, drink lots of fluids, and take nice hot showers. That's what my mama always told me.
To tag on what Janet's saying, I felt this was the point of the movie, passing the torch to the young, but hoping they hold on to their dream and do better.
Mm-hmm.
They
did do better already because they were successful in getting to go up there. Now, he didn't know that yet, but the fact that he knew that they were flying around because he saw it with his own eyes when he was in the helicopter, that they had already achieved a goal that he didn't get to have. But he had it as an adult because now he's flying around in a helicopter. See? So he was part of the way into it compared to the kids.
Here's the role that I remember him most from, and that's from Terminator 1, where he's the gun shop owner selling guns to the Terminator. Here he is in a satellite.
He's real young in that one.
Good looking guy, I mean, and he held on to his looks. He still looked very.
Oh, I recognize that guy.
Yeah, that's Peter Fonda.
Lots of movies. The guy right in the middle.
Yeah, that's Dick, and then you got Bruce Dern, I believe, right here, and Peter Fonda.
Yeah, Peter Fonda's the guy in the red sweater.
Yeah, my bad, Peter Fonda. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to think about it because Bruce Dern, that's a piece of shit that shot Bruce Wayne and John Wayne in the Cowboys. Yeah,
he always plays a bad guy pretty much in all the movies I remember, man. But
it's not movie he plays a hero.
Movies are good when you got a good bad guy, because if you don't have somebody to make you want the hero to win, then it's not very good. You know what I mean? Takes away from it.
Dick Miller and Rock All Night.
Wow.
This guy was I remember The Terror. I remember that. And that's Boris Karloff here and old Dickie. And there's Jack Nicholson.
Wow. For real? Wow. Look how young. He's really young in that. How old is he in that, I wonder?
Mid-20s.
Amazing.
I just this is a classic film. We'll have to watch it one of these days. The Terror is really good, in my opinion. Here's The Burbs. You remember The Burbs? God, I do. Robert Picardo again. He played the alien. What? And Star Killer.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll pull
I
up
recognized some of the things that he said, and with the voices that he was using, I recognized that voice, but I couldn't picture who it was. You know what I mean? So
I remember this movie, After Hours.
That's gruesome.
The Burbs.
That's Dern, isn't it?
Again, Bruce Dern again. Yeah, when they told him that he was going to be hated by all the boys of the United States, he said, "But they'll love me in Berkeley." Whenever he shot John Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, Robert Picardo was also in Joe Dante's movie, The Gremlins Part 2. He was the one getting romanced by the female gremlin.
Well, you see that a lot, like that one director that always wanted Kurt Russell in his movies. Yeah, so you get that a lot. You get certain directors that like certain people to work with certain people because they know they're going to be good, or they like working with them.
And Joe Dante was a real big guy for all the Joe Dante and Dick Miller were a common pair. Whenever there was a Joe Dante film, there's going to be Dick Miller somewhere in it.
Mm-hmm.
They were good friends. That's just how it works. This is where Dick Miller bites it.
Now
Sorry,
look
Dad.
at the size difference. Amazing.
Oh yeah, that's what raw eggs and unpasteurized milk.
Yeah,
will
I
do to you.
sent you that picture, and it was remember Arnold Schwarzenegger's in the center, and he had Wilt Chamberlain and the
And
other
Andre Giant.
Yeah, and he looked
Yeah.
like a tiny person.
Yes.
Arnold Schwarzenegger looks tiny in between them two. It's amazing.
This is when I was 18.
John
Matt and Nate
Goodman?
came out. That's John Goodman.
Hmm.
Dick Miller's been all over Hollywood.
Yeah, he's in a lot of movies.
Oh yeah, he was in Demon Knight. Not the best movie that Tales from the Crypt did.
It was quite a few B movies he was in, but hey, it put food on the table.
Exactly.
So,
I
and
mean,
he
look at
could
this.
tell he enjoyed what he did. He was lucky. He had a good agent that got him lots of work.
Yeah, I like Dick Miller. He just seemed like a cool cat in Hollywood. I know it sounds lame.
But he got a lot of work. It definitely, he was in a lot of work. I mean, a lot of movies.
Beatnik era classic.
Mm-hmm.
Alan Arkin died last week.
Mm-hmm.
Return of Captain Invincible. Yes, I remember that.
Yeah. We've lost a lot of actors in the last 5 or 6 years, it seems like.
Still the hardest one I've had to deal with in the last few years is probably R. Lee Ermey, but really Harry Anderson, the guy from Night Court, the magician.
Yeah.
When he passed, like I was at Night Court every Thursday night. You wade through, you get through the Cosbys, you get through a different world, and then there's Cheers, and then after Cheers, yay, Cheers is on. I like Cheers. Kirstie Alley's hot. She's like completely gorgeous. And then you have Night Court. And
I like Night Court. I always wanted a bowling ball that looked like an eyeball after watching Night Court with my mom.
And that show has lost so many like of its regular staff. Like Charles Robinson just died last in 21. Marquis Post died not long after that, and like I didn't realize she had breast cancer. But and by the way, I was a bad person. I went on Twitter and tried to talk to her, and I found out she's an anti-gun nut. But like Night Court was amazing. It had so many good narrative lessons on how to do comedy, how to do physical comedy, how to set the stage, how to introduce characters, how to keep a running narrative going. And it just, when Harry Anderson died, like that was like the worst time I've ever had.
Yeah, how many shows can you watch that are that entertaining that's basically one set? You know what I mean? They had his office, and then they had the courtroom. Basically, that was what the whole show was about.
The whole show was the
and it was entertaining the whole way through.
Occasionally, they'd take it to the cafeteria.
Yeah, the cafeteria or his office, and then the courtroom. You know.
And I mean, the only other show that was like that was Cheers. And Cheers maximized that set they had. I don't know. I'm just, I would have thought that I would have like been more heartbroken over Kirstie Alley dying, but she kind of disappeared, and then she made some statements, some really hot takes, which I completely agree with, support, like get behind. And it felt like, when she passed, like there was a message being delivered, like don't be talking against the agenda.
Yeah.
That sucked. But John Larroquette was my freaking hero when I was a middle schooler, high schooler, and I absolutely thought that like Night Court would keep going, and then the 7th season they were supposed to stop, but then NBC came along and said, we're going to give you more money, keep making this because it's the gravy train that never ends. And so they made one final season, and it like fell from grace, and it was the worst season of Night Court since the start. And it was just, well, like nobody wanted to be there. Everybody was like, all right, already, we got 26 goddamn episodes. We don't want to do this. And that was it. Barney Miller, it's another good show. God, that had Ron Glass from Firefly on it. Quite a few others. I want to say Abe Vigoda was in that, wasn't he?
I don't know. I don't remember. The thing is, don't they have a, is it Pluto TV that they started that has all these old TV shows on it?
Mm-hmm.
And it's doing really well because people are really enjoying getting to watch, real good comedy and good storytelling from lots of good shows that they used to have. Because today it's just very, very few shows that are good. One of the shows I remember my mom never missed was MASH. Loved MASH, and she loved Seinfeld. Trying to think of some of the other ones.
See, I thought Alan Alda died first whenever Arkin died.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, not Alan Alda. And then I read it again, it was Alan Arkin, and I'm like, okay, that still sucks, but like I'm not completely waxed on this. I'm not done. And Crafting Gamer says at 9 p.m., the star's death that hit me the hardest was Robin Williams. I knew the man, but not super personally. I spent 20 minutes in a grocery store line with him, basically giving me private comedy while we were waiting to be checked out.
Wow, that's cool.
I don't know of a cooler. That's freaking awesome. I drove two celebrities around Illinois once. Not at the same time. That would have been great. But no, I drove Seinfeld once, and I drove Gilbert Gottfried, and both in Springfield. And Gilbert Gottfried was hilarious, but I didn't know how to take his aristocrats joke because he had just kind of came out with that in 2001. That was that. If you're not familiar with the aristocrats joke was a Gilbert Gottfried classic that everybody was trying to make jokes, and this is like a month after 9/11 happened, and they're trying to do a roast, and nobody's doing anything. Everybody's kind of just like bummed and scared, and it's a new era for America, and like everybody's assholes just puckered, and nobody can do comedy.
Yeah.
At the end of that night, Gilbert Gottfried gets up on there, takes the mic, and he starts doing the aristocrats, and he starts to sell it. Like he really goes for the gusto. Backing up the story a little bit to help people understand what's happening to this family in the talent agency's office, making sure that they all understand what the dog is doing during this time. And he's just selling it at 75 decibels, screaming into the microphone, and the court is just going nuts. Like the audience was there. Like there's all these rich assholes that are celebrities and comedians, and they are being given a lesson by Gilbert Gottfried in how to do comedy, no matter how dirty the joke is. If it's a joke, fucking tell it. And Gilbert Gottfried was a fucking hero. And I didn't even know this is going on. Like I didn't have cable. So I get to hear this in 2002 as I'm driving this guy around, and I have to pull over, and he's like, "What? Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I'm like, This is bad. This is funny, but I'm going to hell for laughing at what you've just done for the past 6 minutes, sir. And he's like, "That's fine. You'll burn okay."
See, you're still laughing about it. So it must have been a really great experience.
I almost peed myself. Comedians always try to one up each other and how far they push the joke. That joke, that was a crown topper. Thank you, Gilbert. His death, the loss of celebrities in the last year have hit me pretty bad. I mean, Gilbert Gottfried, Norm Macdonald. Bob Saget even. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Bob Saget, and there's a part where Gilbert Gottfried is making a fact in front of a audience, and the audience thinks it's a joke, and they're just laughing. And Gilbert repeats it like 6 times what Bob Saget did, which is not a good man thing. And they're just laughing their ass off. They don't give a shit. Like, what? You guys are okay with it? All right. I don't want to be in that crowd. I don't want to be in that crowd. But here I am 70 seconds before talking about tell the fucking joke. But okay. This movie, for me, I'm going to rate it a solid 7.2 if you want to get, the decimal point in there, 72% if you're going for the D100 amount. I like this movie. This is a movie that you like show your kids or show your nephews and nieces, and you pretty much are going to bore everybody else in the house unless they're willing to set aside their grown-upisms, the fact that they've got like a receding hairline, or maybe they're worried about their hips that have flared out and now they're a size 16 and not a size 3 like they were in high school or middle school, whatever. Like you've got to, you can't look at this movie the same way you want to look at, say, Die Hard or Braddock Missing in Action. You can't. This is not a movie that goes in that same breath. This is a movie that you want to show your kids. Like if you've got kids that they can understand concepts, but they don't quite get the adult things. They're not ready for Stephen King's The Body or what's known as Stand By Me. This is a good film to put in front of them. It's pretty wholesome. You could play this at a regular person's house or at a preacher's house. Oddly enough, that's where Janet was raised.
That was my grandfather.
And you could have a house full of happy people because they've got this movie on. Robert Picardo has 3 freaking paychecks from this movie because of the 3 roles he has, and I absolutely loved him as Watt and Watt's father. The Star Killer guy, like, I swear to God, I was watching it and I was getting serious. The Man Who Fell to Earth vibes.
Who played the woman, the girl alien's voice?
Leslie, you're gonna.
Yeah, I thought you showed me, but I can't remember what you said her name was. But I thought I would give this an 8, at least an 8. I thought it was a really, I couldn't really find that much wrong with it. I mean, the director did a good job at focusing on what he wanted to say in the story. All the actors were able to portray their characters and follow their character arcs, which was to grow up a little bit to see the world through a child's eyes, but then they came out on the other side as young men, basically, after being able to do something and be successful in it. And then you had the one guy that grew up wanting to do it, having dreams and wanting to meet someone new, something from out there that he never did get to find out what it was until he was an adult. But at least now he realizes it was reality, that it wasn't just in his imagination. And I liked it. I thought it was very, very refreshing to actually see a movie that didn't have to have TNA in it, no innuendos, basically. One little peck, kiss, while they're flying through the air, which I told you made me think of Superman when he kissed Lois Lane while they were flying, that type of thing. I just thought it was adorable. It was an adorable movie. The whole time my ovaries were going into overdrive of how cute those little boys were. Not that I wanted them, but that I wanted another kid type of thing. Because they're just so sweet. To see such young men that I've seen as an adult get to be little kids and use their imagination in a movie that was wholesome and family oriented. I just loved it. I just love anything like this, because they just don't make anything like this anymore. You can't even go to a Disney movie without something woke in it, without putting something that they don't need in it. They didn't put anything in this movie to take away from this movie. They let kids be kids. They let them get in trouble. They let them sneak around and build a spaceship that they could fly around in and be real boys. I loved it. I thought it was really good. I definitely give it at least a solid 8.
Yeah, I got a Leslie Rickert for the character Neek in Explorers, and I agreed with somebody else without checking. I apologize. Let me add this picture. She gets the credit for playing Neek in this movie, and I don't know the other film or other projects she's been a part of. She might be just somebody that was there. She was in Steve's Jobs in 2015 as Cynthia Pastor-Nicky, which is kind of weird.
Well, she basically just did the voiceover. She wasn't really in it, So she was a voiceover for the movie. But I thought she was her character was really cute and different and unique. She definitely wasn't boring. Either one of them were boring in the movie at all. You were mesmerized by their characters and the aspect of where they came from. And then when you find out they're just kids too, that snuck out just like the boys did, So
go ahead.
I thought it was really good.
These three here, Robert Picardo played Starkiller, the Italian sci-fi. This guy played his girlfriend's father. And then Karen Mayo Chandler, who the internet cannot find a good photo of, damned you internet, she played the girlfriend to Starkiller. And
the pretty skimpy woman on the big screen at the drive-in.
Yeah, I got it wrong. She played girlfriend for Starkiller at the drive-through or at the drive in this movie. This is a pretty impressive movie. But Chimerian's right. This is really a movie that's definitely about its time. You're going to lose modern kids. You're going to lose modern audiences. We only speak in TV clips, but everything. Most of this movie is perfect up for that. I mean, it does its job really well. I really think that you nailed it with the point where Dick Miller wanted the kids to follow their dreams and expound upon them. I think that. I mean, I know some people are thinking 72% is low. I'm giving this movie 3.5 stars. I don't understand. Like, it's not a 4-star film for me because there's just some things like the meeting with the aliens could have been more. That could have been longer. They could have trafficked more ideas. And instead, we just get like this brief 20-minute stand-up comedy routine with Robert Picardo, the amazingly talented and accredited,
which
Robert
was good. It just didn't finish. They didn't round it off enough for me, for them to gone through so much trouble. I mean, remember, if it was them making the sheriff as a young boy, making him think about wanting to go and meet them too, or see what it was that was trying to contact them. That was a long time ago. So they've been kids for a long time. A whole adult, another person on Earth is aged, enough to be a grown-up. So their time passage is different than ours. I mean, there was so much more that we could have learned about why they chose to come to Earth, besides the cool or try to search out for them why these boys were so important.
Transmissions that brought them here. And I really laughed whenever What says, I watched Lassie for 4 episodes. It doesn't really say much. I mean, sure, yeah, I can like lay down and roll over, but I wouldn't give it a job or nothing. I laughed. I'm not sorry. That was probably the best summarization of an overused trope I've ever heard of.
But the thing is, I liked it a lot. The whole thing that they were doing, being entertained by us, by our TV, but they were taking it all literal, And I thought that angle to show us that was genius, if you think about it. And the boys were looking and watching them watch this stuff and act it out with these giant screens around them, and they understood. They understood that these aliens are seeing us from our shows, and they think this is who we are. And he goes, but it isn't. This isn't us. He was trying to explain that to them. And I thought that was great, because to me, that just showed a huge character arc for the boys, realizing that our TVs have made us stereotyped, basically. So that all the knowledge and stuff that we put on those different satellites and sent into outer space, talking about who we are, maybe may not been a good idea, for the real aliens that one day come see us.
Yeah, and I'm kind of worried about that, because I mean, all right, get on your aluminum foil tin hat, kids. There's a lot of alien species out there, according to the alien species pundits. And I'm not saying that, like, they have some weight there, or like we've got documented evidence, or like hangars full of crashed UFOs or nothing. But according to some ancient alien astronaut researchers, have stated numerous times that some aliens come here for the menu this planet provides. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not trying to make you feel a little bit uneasy, but I would like to say that when you get away from all of the just like, I'm done, I'm going to go missing for a while, or I'm done with this relationship, or I'm going to like try to flee from my abusive parents or husband or brother or family, whatever it may be. When you get away from all the creepy stuff that the Missing Persons Bureau has, and you get to the numbers, it's about 30,000 people annually in recorded places like the United States and Western Europe that go missing with no trace of where they went.
I know.
And having somebody like possibly get eaten, sucked up, used as a protein or such. I mean, we don't know if
or
it's
batteries.
Yeah.
Using us as batteries, like they did in the Matrix.
Yeah. So I'm just putting that out there, not trying to scare anybody, but I would like to say that the numbers say 30,000 people in civilized nations go missing, and they are never found. There's no trace of them. And when I say there's no trace of them, they don't find a shoe, they don't find like a scrap of clothing, they what they might find is they might find signs of a struggle. And if I'm not including the ones that David Paulides from the Missing 411 gets, that's a whole new set of stories. But I just want you to know that those are the numbers, kids. And I'm not trying to scare you, but I do think it's good to educate your friends. I want to say that this movie it fits for an 80s film. I don't know if you could get it's a taut, very tight movie. It doesn't really lend itself to a lot of like boredom. It doesn't really drag. Even the part in the middle that I didn't appreciate that much, and this is the part that it reminded me of the movie The Sorcerer. In the second act of The Sorcerer, they had to build the trucks before they took the trucks across Brazil. And that is what the construction of the UFO reminded me of, because in The Sorcerer, you have 4 guys plus the townsfolk helping them lash pieces of trucks together. So maybe the trucks can haul the dynamite to the exploded oil rig and collapse the line. And here, the kids are building a UFO, but they don't really have a plan. They just kind of have an idea. We have this space bubble that provides air, or it could trap air for a while. And that's the only thing. Like, they don't really explain too much of it, and I appreciate that. This reminds me of a Randy Quaid version of Frankenstein, where just like Frankenstein comes together in a tank and he comes out. They don't really explain the electricity, the voltage.
Well, they didn't have to, because they had drawings on a piece of paper, and they were all three drawing pictures, remember, and they were sharing them with each other. And so you glimpse at the picture on the paper, and it was just a very rude, little sketch, like a child would draw, and then they put it together. So basically, once they put it together, it was even better than what you saw in the little drawing on their sketch. And I like that, the way they did the delivery of that part of it, because I mean, how many of us had doodled on papers and stuff while we were in a meeting or, doing different things, and doodle it when we think about it, just like the story behind the Mutant Ninja Turtles. Mm-hmm. The one guy that was talking to another guy, but hey, I think I got an idea for a cool cartoon or a comic book or whatever, and he was drawing these turtles on a napkin. Basically, it's where it started. So you just never know what can come from your imagination by drawing it down on a piece of paper. And the fact that the kid jumped out of bed, ran over to his desk, and started writing and drawing out the pictures that he saw in his mind, I think all of us can connect with that, because I think every person who's had any type of an imagination has done something like that, drawn something out on a piece of paper.
Well,
that was in their head, trying to make it into other people to be able to visualize what they're doing.
The fact that he actually jumped up and started writing down his dream, that told me that he had at least some psychology in his noggin. He had some psychology teaching in his head that saying, like, you ought to write down your dreams when you wake up. You ought to do that, because we used to get told that all the time in Psychology 1. And so that's a neat little experiment we did for a year. And the dream recording, it didn't really help out much. It wasn't really that expounding, but it was kind of interesting to see the things that you would fear, you dream about, and next day you try to jot all the details down, which there's only 3 lines of details. You had this really cool image, but like I forgot about it now.
But, a lot of people will write things down. I think there was even an episode on Seinfeld or maybe it was one of these other Friends or something. I don't know, another series where they had scribbled some stuff down on the paper and they couldn't remember what it meant because nobody could read it or understand it. And that was a funny episode. But to me, it connects with me because I've done it. I've got stupid notes here and there with scribbles on it or a drawing or something or a couple numbers, and I'm still trying to figure out what it is and why I wrote it down, and I can't throw it away because I'm like, it's driving me nuts trying to figure out what this is. And that one day I'll throw it away and then I'm gonna say, oh, I know what was on that paper. Now I don't have it.
Secretly, Janet would start to sculpt the Devil's Tower in every bowl of mashed potatoes she would eat.
None of you guys have ever done anything like that. I think not. I think we've all done it to some degree.
We've done that before.
So
this is a good movie. If you've got kids, I definitely recommend watching it. If you're a kid at heart, you might even enjoy it. It's very entertaining as far as that's concerned. I wouldn't say that this is a movie that you will enjoy every time you watch it, because there may be days where you just want to see like cathartic joy, and when I say cathartic joy, I mean like Death Wish 3.
Yeah,
we haven't watched Death Wish 3 yet. Janet will understand once we also had some happy comments, and I wanted to say I want to thank you guys for messaging me and talking about the various discussions that was born from the viewing of The Gamers 2 Darkness Rising with Miss Janet here. Want to say thank you to everybody that encouraged that, and we go ahead, keep the commentary flooding in. We want to see that. We want to talk about that. If you have comments about this movie tonight, go ahead and whenever this goes to syndication, go ahead and make some comments of your own about what you feel our dissertation of this movie is. Now, I would like to say next week we are watching Blood for Dracula in 1974. I almost would say a Hammer film. I'm looking forward to that.
I love scary movies. Those are my favorite. So is it scary?
I don't know. We're going to watch.
Haven't seen it yet. But you guys can join us in Discord if you want to watch
The others are.
next Sunday.
I'm looking forward to that because this Blood for Dracula looks like it's a really good B film, and I mean excellent tier class quality B film. Janet, do you have anything you would like to say before we wrap this up tonight?
No, I just wish that Flady had been able to join us and talk about why he wanted to recommend us to watch that movie.
I agree.
This nice, but I understand he is not well, and I just hope he starts feeling better.
Yeah. Flady, this was a great film. Appreciate you letting us watch it. And if anybody's out there that wants to throw anything in the future comments, probably the rest of this year has already been decided by Janet and me. Although anybody that throws super chats out there is going to get the satisfaction of having those get devoured first, and we will watch those first. I know that sounds like a greedy thing. Give me money and we'll watch your favorite film, but that is actually an interesting way to look at it. I just want to go for that angle for the fact that I've got a job as a plumber. I'm kind of okay right now. Always more money is nice, but I can use this money to take care of my tax breaks and drop me out of one high tax bracket into the one below me. And that's what I want. That's really what I want. Oh damn, Euro International Film. Janet, have you watched any movies as of late?
No, not really. I'm gonna go Wednesday to see
The Sound of Freedom.
Yeah, I already bought tickets.
I want to recommend you do something.
Mm-hmm.
I think the day that you go watch it, I think you should do a review, or at least do a review from your car, just out of the theater. Do that and drop it on the web.
Okay.
Or come home and feed it up to the Wi-Fi. Do that, because I know you're right now you're pushing yourself to get some watch hours in. YouTube has dropped the requirement for subscribers and other things. Although watch hours is like 3,000 hours, I guess. But that's still not
4,000. 4,000 watch hours. It's gonna take me 5 years because I do 30-second shorts. But I like it. I don't want to make some boring 3 or 5, 10-minute video just because, I want to get more hours. I'm going to keep doing what I said. It's been a year since then. And I said, I'm going to keep doing what I want to do and what I feel like doing, because I like my spontaneous type of things that I do, because that's who I am. And if I start doing something for a different reason, it's not the same.
Understandable.
But that's why I'm doing this for you, because I enjoy doing this, but it's around what we're doing, about your channel. So and I want to keep it like that. So I think
I was just saying, just you could do a 45-second review fresh out of the
theater.
I
could do a short review. I don't want it to be like my book reading. I've only done 10 or 15-minute readings, because I don't want it to be, get humdrum and boring, because I don't, I just want to keep it short. Even my shit show isn't real long. I mean, sometimes it goes a little bit longer than I expected it to, because we got something good to talk about. But
I have a feeling Friday will be filled with that. I have a feeling Friday will be filled with that.
Yeah, a lot of shit that's going on.
Papa Cotton says, I do what I want on my own channel and I get strikes.
Mm-hmm. I've gotten some copyright strikes too, so don't feel bad.
Hey, here's a guy that he wants more subscribers, and give it to him. Ladies and gentlemen, Bone has been one of our mods, one of our good friends for.
I'm already following him. I'm already subscribed.
I think I am too, or I was.
But yeah, you should. Bone's awesome. He's a great person.
He's there for everybody. Mm-hmm. I mean, when things go with him. You know, like there was a period of time about almost a year ago where he wasn't feeling too great. But I'm telling you, like this guy, a lot of people got behind him. Like, hey, listen, if you need any help, we're more than happy to help you out. And I was worried about his cat because, like, I know his cat's like that's your family, that's your house family. That's what you want. So there's his link right here, and I recommend that if you guys, he's got a new short. Looks like he's driving through Florida. Ooh, wow. Yeah, give this guy a subscription, and he's you know, I'm pretty certain he's going to give you some amazing content. Let's see what he's doing over here. I need to get a camera for my car. And he's actually driving pretty well. Like I'm actually pretty impressed. Like this is a person that, in my opinion, would be quote unquote a normie, but he's driving safely. I'm terrible, by the way. I will watch dash cam videos for hours. The entire time I can feel like my doctor calling me up. Stop it. Your heart rate's going up too much. Stop it. But yeah, this guy, like, no, Bone is a good driver. He's not like trying to zoom in and out of traffic. You know, he's mostly holding his lanes. This is a sped up video, so he's going to change lanes. It's going to look fast. But no, this is a good driver, dude. Have you ever thought about a career with a CDL? I'm sorry.
I know you're going to say this, but I tell everybody that there's nothing wrong with making a few shorts and putting them on your channel, give them a little taste of something that you're interested in. You know, talk about you know, something that you did or something that made you angry or whatever, but try not to use certain words. You can use other words for the words that you want to say, so you might not get in trouble. Most of my copyright strikes are for music, because I'll make a short and add some music to it, and they'll say, you can't use that or whatever, but I don't care. I'm not monetized, so I just leave it up there anyways. If they tell me that I won't be monetized for it, I said, that's okay. I don't care. So I just leave it. So it depends on what they say, but I haven't really said anything. I thought I said a few things on my shit show because I used some dirty language or whatever. And I thought maybe we'd get in trouble in some of the topics that we talked about, but nobody said anything so far. But somebody reports me or whatever, well then, you know, unless they say I have to take it down or I'm losing my channel, that would be the only reason I would take it down.
Yeah,
you're not going to get any money. I said, I don't care. Go. I don't care if I get any money. I'm not getting money now. So, and I got 4,000 hours to go before I do. So why not? So I just still tell people to be yourself, make a video of you just walking and talking. I'm proud of some of the people I've seen that they said, oh, I hate shorts, I'm never going to make them. Guess what? They're making them. People are watching them. Because if it gets someone to click on it and takes you to your channel and they see some of your other stuff, then it was worth making the short. Why not? So I was making shorts on TikTok for a while, until YouTube started doing shorts. And when they started doing shorts, then I started moving some of my TikToks over. So that's why I started out that way. But I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
I want you guys to be safe tomorrow.
That's horrible. He blew his fingers off.
It's
awful.
I like dark humor.
I know. I've seen a lot of it on your Discord.
This is like I saw this thing in a video like the other day.
That's the she.
It's the same way as like what the health czar we have now that claims to be an admiral but never served a day. The fucking stolen valor piece of shit is.
He's got so many medals on his chest. I don't know how he stands up or she stands forward.
This is my vinyl resting place.
My vinyl. That's cool. I want that record player.
I may be out of mana, but I am not out of options. Angry. Have you tried throwing bricks at God? Self-care is drinking 3 pots of coffee and getting into a knife fight with God. Wow.
You're gonna lose.
Yeah, you are. Know this, mortal, nothing escapes death. Brains. Not bad. Bad. Jesus can walk on water. Babies are 72% water. I can walk on babies. Therefore, I'm 72% Jesus.
That's really bad.
The holy music stops.
Yeah, we are made up of mostly water.
Hey guys, does this mean I'm finally a master? Shit.
Worry not, Obi-Wan. Know who to call, do I?
No job is too big. No fee is too big. Love it. When your friend's in an argument online and he asks you for memes, looking to protect yourself or deal some damage. Skyrim, I hate you. So I have to open this up in a browser just so you guys can see this. When I was in the Navy and we were bored on a 12-hour shift, we tried to think of a valid mission for the Constitution other than acting as a museum. We realized that a submarine would have a very hard time detecting that she was operating in the area. So you could do something with this Constitution class ship. I wouldn't recommend it, but if it's submarine infested, you could do something. Keep in mind, one piece of explosive ordnance will probably take her out. Modern ordnance will probably take it out. One hit. Okay, go back to the memes. Buying an auction car. I hope it doesn't have any rear end damage. The car.
That was one of my pickup lines. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, but it was something about the human body is made up like 97% water. And I said, I'm thirsty. Something like that. It was a while back.
I gotta go to church. I gotta go to church. I cannot have church. Not Janet and a nun habit church. I gotta go to church.
Yeah, because I got a whole list of pickup lines. I guess I need to start doing some more of them again.
You probably should. I mean, I need to get a hold of some pharmaceutical company for men, and just like whenever we do these Monday night shows, we can have an actual sponsor that will do some good.
Well, I still want to do some coffee ones for you. I've got some cute little things, like I said, I wanted to do about
Oh my
a hot steaming cup of you in the morning. You know, stuff like that. Some real goofy coffee things for you. But I need to get me a couple bags so I can at least have them as, props.
Okay.
I want to do
Say
that.
no more. Friday's coming. Giant tarantulas keep tiny frogs as pets. Insects will eat the burrowing tarantula's eggs. So spiders protect the frogs from predators, and in return, the frogs will eat the insects. And then we have that. Kai. Damn it, Kai. Happy National Pie Day. Oh, that's wrong. That's wrong.
Pie comes in all shapes and sizes.
Run over it, he said. Everything will be fine, he said. For you
What a mess.
For you tankers out there. Somebody's gonna have the CSM come down their ass.
He said that one wasn't me. So I think that's funny.
Jumanji. I feel safer with an Ouija board.
Yeah.
Dear Mr. To whom it concerns, for the people of, this is a public service announcement. I like that. Mistakes are proof you are trash.
Trash.
Abiophobia is the fear of palindromes. A palindrome is a word that is spelled the same backwards as it is forwards. Guy who named phobia. Oh my God.
Well, I bet they're having fun though.
I know they are. Oh,
That's
wonderful.
great.
That's wonderful. Okay. The meme review for
Because I told you that when I went to Six Flags, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, I was with someone very special at Six Flags, like that person that was in that rocket thing that you just saw. So,
Rocket League is a computer game, or any game. It's on PlayStation or Xbox or Nintendo or PC, and you drive around these little radio control cars and play soccer against each other.
mm-hmm.
And so they put the insignia in the corner of that meme, which I absolutely loved.
Mm-hmm. And someone else is controlling their little rockets for them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. To get the ball around the rink.
Yeah, it's a fun game. It's a silly little game. Hey, Jeremy. Janet, appreciate you being here for this, and thank you for.
You're welcome. It was fun. It really was a cute movie. I adored it. I thought it was an adorable movie.
Well,
I'm glad I got to see it.
We will be studying up on Blood for Dracula next Sunday night. For anybody that wants to pop in, get into my Discord. Janet's got a Discord too. I'm going to put both Discords in here because I think you guys, if you don't belong to these Discords and you like us, maybe you like our memes. And by the way,
my memes I don't think are near as dark as yours, but I do have a lot of people that post memes in my Discord, so some of them are pretty good.
You know, there is a time and place for good wholesome memes, and a dirty wholesome fun is exactly what Janet's channel is all about.
It's just, everybody having a good time, basically, and not at other people's expense. But sometimes, it leans that way a little, but it's still funny. I don't have anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with laughing. I mean, you have to be able to laugh at yourself. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I'm a firm believer in that. So nobody's perfect.
I'm so looking forward to next week's show because I'm pretty impressed with the fact we're going into like the genre of 70s horror films.
Because we haven't done anything from the 70s yet, have we?
We did The Sorcerer.
Oh, that's right. We did the one. And that was something you picked.
Yeah, because it's on my Apple library and it's just absolutely a necessity. I mean, if you know me, but you haven't seen that movie, like this is that The Sorcerer is what you should watch because that's really a good kind of a period piece film. That was supposed to be a very big film, but it came out in 1977, and there was another movie that came out that year, and it took all the thunder out of the rest of the box office called Star Wars, and that little movie from William Friedkin just completely got forgotten, and it's so sad because it's a good movie. It does a lot of things right. It's a William Friedkin movie, so if you know his movies, you know his story beats, you know how he sets things up, and he does that one a little differently, where he began all of it with 4 separate individuals that had some bad decisions in life, and then the movie starts with them in this crappy Brazilian town, and that's when everything starts to be put together. But the 20-minute start of the film where you get to watch everybody have bad decisions, it is such a good movie. And I know that there's somebody out there like, Bruce, are you talking about that Palestinian that blew up the people in Israel? Yeah. I mean, this guy is not a good man. None of the men in this movie are good. But watching them try to get this achieved and be anti-heroes is an absolute fun ride, and that was my entire reason why I wanted you to watch it.
Yeah, and I thought it was really, really good. And the thing is, growing up and reading comic books, almost all the people I really liked were anti-heroes, like Deadpool, Wolverine, and Morbius. You know, those are three of my favorite ones, and they were all anti-heroes. So
And
just gravitate towards them.
yeah, I love that movie. So
it was good, and I'd never seen it before. So
Tangerine Dream soundtrack too. Yes, the Tangerine Dream soundtrack is fantastic. I know. Hold on, guys. I like synthwave. This should not be a surprise to you. I like Tangerine Dream quite a bit.
Did they do the music for the movie Legend too?
I think so.
Yeah,
they've done a few soundtracks for a lot of fantasy films. Alan Parsons' project, I think, did the one for Lady Hawke.
I love that movie. That's another one we have to do.
October.
That was such a good movie. Rutger Hauer.
I want to do that in October or September. One of those months we gotta, like, I'm not big on Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving movies suck generally, except for like what's the Mel Gibson claymation film where he's the cool chicken that gets launched out of the cannon.
Oh, I can't remember the name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
The chicken farm where it's ran like a Nazi concentration camp. Good movie. That's like the best turkey movie I've ever seen, but it's not a turkey movie, it's a chicken movie. And I like that, but there's not a lot of Thanksgiving films like, so I want to make November our fantasy film month. And I think that was the month that the Lord of the Rings movies started to be brought into theaters. Yeah, Chicken Run. Thank you, everybody's on that. It's a Chicken Run, Bruce. Don't you know? I'm sorry.
Well, we're gonna have to do that one, since everybody knows what it is.
Yeah, we add that to the list. Next week, Blood for Dracula. Lots of babes in that movie. Just gonna say that. I went through their IMDb just now, and lots of babes. So,
are they all Dracula's brides, or does he just feast on them?
We're gonna find out on Sunday.
Okay, good. I'm looking forward to it.
Everyone, please be safe tomorrow. It is the day we celebrate our independence. If you can help other people around you realize what a great country this is. Yes, we've done some stupid things as a country, but we have done so many great things as a country. Just, try to not obsess about the bad, but try to celebrate the great. And we've got a lot of great things we've done in the past. Gonna be singing Bilbo the Nine Fingers tomorrow, if not. I got one question for you. Explosions?
Does everybody remember to pray for our country tomorrow, because we really need it. And God bless America, because something's got to give pretty soon, because I just don't know what we're leaving for our great grandchildren. If you think about it, they're going to look back at us and say, God, what did they do to us?
They don't. The things that are being made laws now are going to rob your grandkids of freedoms before they're even having a chance to run down the pipe, guys. So
before they're already in debt before they're born. I mean, I'm just really sad about what we've done, the choices that we've made, and how we've ruined this. So many good things that we had when we were young that are these new kids are never going to get to have in their life. I mean, it just sucks. So we got a chance to stop it, and we just got to fight for it. So we can't give up. We just got to keep fighting and fight for what everybody's died for already for this country. And that's what I'm praying for, is that we can get this country back to what it used to be, free. Can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Oh, Yikes!
There you go. I hear you now.
I muted it because I was typing. I had a
Yeah.
complaint on Friday night about my loud keyboard. It's not even a fancy keyboard. I have one of those $40 ergonomic keyboards.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I have this little one that you can touch, and it lights up, so I can see it. But it's wireless.
I like wired things. I don't like batteries. I want all of you guys to be safe tomorrow. I want you to do the best thing you can for your family and those around you. And please come back to us on Monday of next week. We will be here. It's always a pleasure to have my friends and family pop in and say hello. We look forward to this. This is a highlight of my week in terms of streaming.
Me too.
That's all I'm going to say about that.
If you enjoy my content, feel free to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Stay tuned so you won't miss out on anything. If you want me to stay independent, you can support me with the link in my bio at Buy Me a Coffee. You can also follow me on my other platforms. Thank you for listening.